let's go through the topics of derivatives. What are derivatives? Remember, derivatives show us the rate of change, a rate of change of our function. How does y change relative to x? And let's write some basic formulas that we must get used to them automatically. So first of all, let's write the most frequent ones or common ones, that the derivative of x is just 1 and the derivative of any number is 0. And literally, what is the derivative of a number? Well, what is the rate of change of a constant? A constant by definition does not change, so that's why the rate of change is equal to 0. Now let's go to the other rules. For instance, the power rule. What is the derivative of x to the power of n? That's n times x to the power of n minus 1. And at the same time, let's get comfortable with the chain rule, because what is a chain rule? That's when we have, instead of x, an expression of x to the power of n, a function of x to the power of n. Well, we keep the same formula, but the whole thing with the chain rule is that we differentiate this expression, so times the expression derivative. And it's wise to write them as a block. So when studying for derivatives, understand the basic rule with x, with the variable of interest, and next to it, keep in mind the expression. That is the same formula, but multiply without the derivative of the expression. Okay, what would be another derivative formula that's handy? A to the power of x derivative. That's a to the power of x times ln of a. What if we have a to the expression of x derivative? That's the same as before, but we multiply with the derivative of that expression. Another block of formula, another set. Okay. What else? Ln of x, that's really popular. Ln of x derivative is 1 over x. Ln of an expression of x derivative is 1 divided by our expression times the derivative of that expression. And when studying for these derivatives, go through the questions, use them, and look at the formulas. Look at the set you are using, and by doing that again and again, it's just gonna become second nature. Alright, let's see. What is square root of x derivative? Square root of x derivative, that's 1 divided by 2 square root of x. And what is square root of an expression derivative? That's 1 over 2 square root of our expression times the derivative of our expression. Okay. What is e to the power of x derivative? E to the power of x derivative is just e to the power of x. And what is e to the power of an expression of x derivative? Well, that's e to the power of that expression times the derivative of that expression. That's another set. And the last two, product rule and quotient rule. Remember, when we have two functions multiplied, or two terms, two expressions, however we may call them, and we take the derivative of that, we have the derivative of the first term times the second plus the first term times the derivative of the second. For instance, if we have 3x squared plus 1, that's our first term, first expression, times 1 over x squared plus 1 over x, and we differentiate this whole thing. Well, that's going to be the derivative of the first term, 3x squared plus 1 derivative, times the second term, 1 over x squared plus 1 over x, plus the first term, 3x squared plus 1, times the derivative of the second term, 1 over x squared plus 1 over x derivative. Okay, and one last thing with the quotient rule, let's write that down. What if we have a division? So a function of x over another function, f of x divided by g of x derivative, that's the derivative of the first times the second minus f of x times g prime of x divided by the second power of g of x. For instance, if we have x to the power of 2 minus 4 derivative, sorry, x to the power of 4 divided by x cubed plus 1, all of this thing derivative, we take the derivative of the first term times the second term minus the first term, x squared minus 4 times x cubed plus 1, which is the second term derivative, divided by x cubed plus 1 to the power of 2. And that's it. That's all we got with the derivatives. Let's zoom out and have a look at the big picture. We go from here all the way up. There are not many. It's just a matter of habit to look at them and use them. Hope this helps.